The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. I am so excited about my guest today. He is really such an incredible and kind and sweet and amazing and gifted man. He has helped so many different animals, and he's just truly amazing. I'm so excited to have him on. I have Mr. Derrick Campana with us today. Hi, Derrick. How are you? I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah, thanks I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Happy to talk to all you guys.
Yes. So let's get right into it. I know a lot of people have probably seen your videos and seen you on Animal Planet and everything. But for some of the people that might not know, why don't you tell people a little bit about what you actually do?
Sure. I make veterinary orthotics and prosthetics. I started in the human prosthetic industry. And about 15 years ago, a veterinarian brought her dog to my human facility, and this dog named Charles, a black lab, needed a prosthesis, and I built one for him. And I had such a awesome feeling when that happened that I started animal ortho care, like I said, about 15 years ago, and I've seen almost 25,000 animals since then, ranging from birds to elephants, and we make all different types of custom prosthetic and orthotic devices.
That is awesome. So is that how you got started then? Because he wanted his pet to have one?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like that vet came to our facility, and I'd never heard of anybody, caring so much about their dog back then. It was a little bit different than it is now. People treat their dogs like family members now, so it's more commonly, known and everything. But back then, it was just such a weird thing to me. And I was like, oh, I bet there are tons of dogs out there that need this service. So I started Animal Ortho Care, and it turns out I was right. And we're seeing about 200 to 300 dogs each month. As you may know, not always dogs. There's goats, sheep, deer, llama, like I said, elephants, all different types of animals from all over. I'm actually... Our limb lab, I like to call it our bionic limb lab, is in Virginia, and I'm out here in Eugene, Oregon, helping a special dog named Lumen, a Great Dane with congenital deformities, make prosthetics for his back leg. So it takes me all over the world, and I love doing my job, and it's not a job to me. It's just a fun part of my life.
That is so cool. So you got a Great Dane with you. I used to have a Great Dane. That's so cool that you're helping them.
Yeah, they're fun. They're the most friendly giants out there. I love working with them. But recently, it's just been more and more special animals like goats and sheep and llama and alpacas and stuff. So it's getting very interesting. More and more interesting every day.
Yeah, no, I bet. And like you said, you have done just so many different crazy animals. Of course, dogs and cats, I'm sure, are very common, but you have done some crazy, insane ones. What do you think was probably the hardest one you've done? I'm sure you faced a lot of challenges with it. What's probably the hardest one you've done?
I'd always have to say the elephants, just because of their sheer size. And I like to build all the prosthetics from scratch out of our limb lab in Virginia. But with an elephant or a very large animal, you have to outsource every part. Like, for example, Jabu, the elephant, he's 6 tons. So I don't have a huge oven that I can put these plastics and carbon fibers into. I have to outsource every little bit of it. And you can't just buy elephant joints off the shelf somewhere. So everything has to be one-off prototyped, manufactured specifically for this single build. So that's always a huge challenge. But beyond that, the really tiny animals can be very challenging, like bird legs, which are so thin, and you have to use 3D printing technology and things of that nature. So those can be just as challenging as the larger animals because there's not much surface area to work with.
Yeah. No, have you ever, because you, like you said, you've done birds and everything. Have you ever had any that unfortunately it just wouldn't work with them? Because, I mean, it's not basic science, it's a quite
Yeah.
complicated thing. Have you ever had any that just unfortunately it wouldn't work for them?
Yeah, it happens every day. I say no to more caretakers than I say yes to. Unfortunately, a lot of the common surgical procedures and amputations were done in a way with not a prosthesis in mind. So a lot of these dogs aren't prosthetic candidates. And another thing is I can only, guarantee fit. I can't guarantee acceptance. And some dogs, just like people, won't accept a device and they'll just lay there or not move. So there's a lot of uncontrollable factors and hurdles in the animal veterinary prosthetic industry that people may not think about. And it's a challenge every day, but that's why I love the job, honestly, because it is challenging.
Oh, I bet it is awesome when when everything goes well, and it's such an incredible award for you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I wish it was a 100% success rate, but yeah, we're putting devices on animals, so people have to realize that not everything's going to work perfectly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
How long is the process? I'm sure it's different for every single animal, but on average, how long would you say the process is?
So when I first started, it would take me days and days to build each device, and I've gotten very efficient where I can do same day builds. I mean, really, like for example, this trip right now, people fly me out here. I can build a device in 1 or 2 days and then fly home. I can do a prosthesis in about 3 hours, honestly, if I really am cranking down on it. But yeah, not to say that it started that way, and I'm faster than most, and because I see so many animals. But yeah, I can do them relatively quickly and at a really nice, affordable cost. Because in the veterinary prosthetic industry, efficiency is everything, and since there's no insurance involved, you have to keep these things very cheap relative to surgery. So you have to be fast.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome that you do make it as efficient and money efficient as possible, because like you said, for so many people, their animals are their babies and they're their lives.
Yeah.
And even though they're not humans, they are they have their own little lives. So I think that's awesome that you're helping them.
Yeah, they're like family members. It's great. I mean, if you have an injury, you'll kind of let it slide and say, I'll be fine. But if it's your kid or your pet, you feel like a jerk if you're not helping them, and you're not going to let it go. And that's just something that's great about people in the world today, and how much they will help and treat these animals like family members. And that's why I try and offer services. My real goal is to give animals as many therapies and therapeutic modalities as people have at an affordable cost, because they deserve it too.
Yes, definitely. Now, I'm sure it's kind of impossible for everyone to come to you, or for you to go to everyone. Is there any, is it possible for people to do it from where they're at? Like, can you ship stuff for them and they can send it back to you like a mold, or is that not a possible thing?
Oh no, I'm glad you asked that, because that's one of those common misconceptions. I only, we build everything right out of our facility in Virginia, and 80% of patients I never end up seeing. So we ship these casting kits all over the world, and the caregiver or veterinarian can take a mold of the dog's leg or lack thereof and ship it to us, and we can build these devices in about a week and then ship it back. So a lot of the misconceptions are that I can't help them if they're far away, but we can. And then the cost, people think these things are thousands of dollars when they're only hundreds of dollars. So I always love to clear that up. So thanks for asking that.
No, I think that's awesome, and I wanted to ask the price too, but hundreds that's very reasonable. That's really phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, average price of braces are about $500, and prosthetics are about $1,000. So everyone says it's going to cost an arm and a leg. Sorry, pun intended. But no, it's really quite affordable.
That's cool. And so when you do cast it from home, because I can't even imagine. I'm really stupid when it comes to that stuff. Is it hard for some people to do it from home, or can they take it to their vets to do it?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's another big challenge in the field. In the human side, you see every patient directly, and you're usually, as a practitioner, casting the patient, fitting, doing modifications, things like that. But in the veterinary side, yeah, a lot of these owners are taking the molds, and they're not all perfect, as you can imagine. So you have to kind of say, hey, this cast doesn't look like a dog leg. I got to make it look like a dog leg. And I've gotten very good at turning happy casts into good braces or prosthetics. But we guarantee fit, so even if we have to remake it, it's just something that we do just so that's not a big factor in the way if you don't do a good cast or something like that. But yeah, you can bring these to your vet facility and have them do it as well.
Well, that's very cool. That's what I would probably have to end up doing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny. Well, I think the caretakers do better than vets. No offense to vets, but they actually, you would actually watch the video, read the instructions, and it's your dog, so you're invested in it a little bit more.
That's true. You could keep them a little calmer too, probably, and not some scary
Yeah.
doctor. And I honestly, before you, I've never really even thought like this is I never really thought about it, and I guess maybe that's ignorant on my part. But but there are so many animals that I'm sure do need it, just like humans. Are there a lot of other people like you that do this, or are you kind of like one of the only people that do this?
Actually, yeah, I'm only one of about 10 people in the world. Wow. And as far as full-time veterinary orthotic and prosthetic facilities, there's only about 4 in the world.
Wow.
And we're one that offers custom prosthetics, orthotics, off-the-shelf braces, all different types of therapeutic braces. So kind of we're unique to that, just offering like a full line of care to animals out of our one location.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane, but that is so cool that you're helping.
It's a dream job. It's one of those things that people will ask, how do I get into it? And right now, unfortunately, there's no curriculum for veterinary orthotics and prosthetics, so it's just, I went through the human side of schooling, did my boards, became a human practitioner, and then transferred over. So right now, that's just how people have to do it, because I get probably 50 emails a day asking how to get into my line of work, and it's just one of those things you got to kind of do more entrepreneur style.
Gotcha. Well, that's very cool that you did it and are very successful with it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I get to travel, and I'm going over to London in 2 weeks just to see a cow and fix this cow. And yeah, people will go to far lengths to help their pets, and I love that because I'm the same way. And I've loved to see the whole culture behind animals kind of change over these last 15 years for the better, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. And I do, obviously, you've been on Animal Planet. The Dodo did a video on you. Is that really how a lot of people discover you? Because I know that's how I did. Did you get a lot more notice with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done a bunch of viral videos, and those are always great. My goal is to increase awareness, and that really helps do that. And I've heard before some people say, oh, you only do things for the viral videos. I'm like, well, this is just what I have to do to get the word out, because people are very clueless that this field even exists. So going through the episode on Animal Planet, Dodo Heroes, and Dodo videos and things like that of that nature are very important to the industry to get the word out and to help a lot more animals.
No, definitely. I think that's stupid that people would even say something like that, because it is. That's honestly, that's the only way you are going to get any type of notice with something like that, and it's such an important thing, and hopefully you'll get more people to help with that and save even more little animals' lives. So that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't realize is we save them thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It's a lot of these dogs, instead of doing surgery, which can cost $3,000 to $5,000 for like a torn ACL, we can make a knee brace for, and a lot of times these can heal without surgical intervention, or at least stabilize enough to do so. So it's just, if people had this knowledge, it would help their pet/family member, save them money, and possibly be the best route of care, or at least alternative to surgery. So it's just something I've been trying to get out for so long, and I'm just glad it's finally getting there.
That is so funny. You just mentioned the torn ACL. We actually had a viewer. I was going to ask you. They said their dog just had a torn ACL, and they were asking, is that something you can help with, or because surgery, of course, I'm sure is a very scary thing, and you don't want to hear that. Is that something you do help, or is that a pretty common thing?
It's very, very common. Probably 75% of everything we do at Animal Ortho Care is knee braces for torn or partially torn ACL. So,
Wow.
what we do is we just make a knee brace, just like a human knee brace that stabilizes the leg and can help scar tissue to develop to the point where surgery is not needed.
Wow, that's awesome. Because I know it's so sad because animals are so innocent, and you can't even talk to them and explain stuff to them. So it's so horrible when anything happens to them. So that's so cool that you made this possible for so many different people across the world to make this easier for them.
It's so fun. It's really just a joy every day to work with these animals. It's an honor with some of them. It's just been amazing to see from the beginning to now.
Yeah. And I had to ask, I saw one thing that you did. There was a camel in a house that you helped. Could you tell that story? Because I thought that was kind of interesting. Hello? Oh. I think we lost him. His phone might have died because I know he was saying he had a low phone percentage. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. We're having some technical difficulties, but we'll be right back with Derrick.
Is life so hectic that you just don't have time to get all those projects around the house completed? Well, worry no more. Tinker's Handyman Service is here and ready to help you. Tinker's is a company you can depend on to be honest and reliable. What sets us apart from other companies? It's simple. We care. Our reliable staff will help you with drywall repair, painting, popcorn ceiling removal, laminate and engineered wood flooring, also accent walls, crown molding, baseboard installs, cabinet and door repair, minor electrical and plumbing repairs, and more. Visit Yelp to see rave reviews from our satisfied customers. Call or text us today at 702-445-4812 for a fair and honest free estimate. Let Tinker's Handyman Service give you the free time you deserve. That number again is 702-445-4812. We're waiting for your call.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. We got him back. So we are
Sorry
back
about that.
Oh, no, it's no problem. I was just like, oh, no. But
Yeah, it's a hazard of my job. I'm always in the middle of swamp or woods or mountainous region, so I don't get great service, so sorry about that.
No, you're totally okay. But where we left off at, I was asking, I heard about the camel in the house story that you did.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? Because I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's Bogart. I call him Bogart, the friendly camel. He had very collapsed carpi, which are wrists, and the woman reached out to me to make these braces, and I think that was the first or second camel I ever worked on. But yeah, I mean, that just shows kind of the range. You know, we get called all the time for these crazy things, and that was just another one. But he was a really cool camel to work on, and I have the mold still in my office. I have all these leg molds, and you can definitely tell which one's the camel because they're just these really long, skinny legs, and there's another treat to work on an animal like that.
That's cool. I was just going to say, your second or first animal, that's funny. Have you ever worked on, like, crazy animals, like lions or tiger, or would that be too much?
It would be too much, just because they're wild and pretty vicious, so they would definitely just bite that thing off and, terrorize it.
That's
and
true.
I think I was asked about 10 years ago to do a prosthesis for a panda, and I said, I could do it, but that's a bear.
Right.
It's not going to work. So I always give my honest opinion on success rates, and those are close to zero because they're just so wild, such wild animals.
That's true. I didn't even think of it that way, but that's true. They just
Yeah.
take it right off in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it would just be a chew toy to them, I think.
Yeah. But I think that's so cool. Do you have like maybe a favorite story that you've done, or one that really touched your heart or something? Is there anything that really stuck out with that?
Yeah, I had another black lab named Ebony, and Ebony had osteosarcoma, which is cancer, and she had her leg amputated, and it was a higher amputation level on the arm, and it was a bunch of years ago, so I'd never done a prosthesis like that, and I tried and tried, and I kept trying to build a prosthesis that worked, and I kept failing, and finally I got a prosthesis to work, and it was just what really inspired me about it is one, just the tolerance of an animal, but two, I was able to broaden my patient scope because I now fit this dog with a prosthesis successfully, and every other patient that asked me from that point on, or even previously who had the same amputation level, I could help when previously I had to say no to those patients. So it's always a learning. I'm learning every day and trying to broaden my skills and patient base to help those animals that I'm currently saying no to or I just can't treat. And luckily, I have that ability to do that, and it's just been great. And like I said, we're getting better every day at these skills and helping these animals, and I won't have to say no as much anymore. Hopefully, pretty soon.
Yes. Yeah, and I have to ask too, because I don't really know much about this. Obviously, is this something? Do you have like some that are permanent, like that can stay on the animals, or do they have to be taken off every night or every hour, or whatever? What is the process for some of them?
So I make external prosthetics that come off. Usually keep them on all day, take them off at night. What you're talking about is called osseointegration, where implant gets inserted into the bone and then a prosthetic part sticks out, and they use it, which is more of a common practice overseas, and it's just starting to enter the United States. That's a pretty costly procedure, but I think in the future it's going to be one that we'll see more often. And but yeah, those are more internal implants, and I basically do all the external prosthetics.
Gotcha. Well, I bet that's easy, and then there's no surgery, so that's a good thing too.
Right.
Well, Derrick, I can't even thank you enough for being on. I know, so like I said, so many different viewers have been questioning and saying, "Oh my gosh, how do I get in contact with him? Can I buy his stuff online?" How do people get in contact with you? Are there stuff you can do online? What's the process, and where can people follow you and keep up to date with everything you're doing?
Yeah, you can follow. I own a couple of companies, Animal Ortho Care and Bionic Pets. So at Animal Ortho Care or at Bionic Pets on Instagram. Same for Facebook. And you can always email me with specific cases, animalorthocare@hotmail.com. Or you can just check our website out at www.animalorthocare.com.
Awesome, and I really thank you so much, Derrick. Is there anywhere, because you help so many different animals and at such an affordable price? Is there anywhere people back you or can help support in any other way?
I do have a GoFundMe link on my personal page, Derrick Campana, on Facebook, and or you just can do PayPal, Derrick at animalorthocare.com. And we use all those funds towards a lot of 501c3 sanctuaries and rescue groups because they don't have a lot of money to help all these animals that they help. So we're very into these rescues and charities and things like that. So anything is always appreciated.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Derrick. You're such an amazing man, and it's really been an honor speaking with you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and if you ever help an animal here in Vegas, we'd love to have you on the show, too, in person.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'm there all the time. I do all these vet conferences over there.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Derrick. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks a lot. You too.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was so awesome. What an awesome, amazing, phenomenal guy that just helps so many animals and people too, because that's where he started off at. So, what a cool guy. Please go and support him in any way you can. If your animal needs a prosthetic or a brace or whatever, and that he can possibly help with, please get in contact with him because he's clearly the best of the best and best of some of the only actually. So, and such an affordable price. What a great guy. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you and God bless.